Now, Sexyy Red just over a year ago was one of the most popular new female rappers in the entire industry. After receiving a massive marketing push, it really looked like she was unstoppable. But now, it seems like the Sexyy Red experiment might have failed. Or has it? Let's talk about it.
Right?
Sexyy Red is a 27-year-old rapper from St. Louis, Missouri, who broke into the mainstream back in late 2023 after her song Pound Town went viral. After the success of that record, she later secured a remix with Nicki Minaj. And that same year, Drake featured her on his album. From there, it looked like nothing could stop Sexyy Red. Her music was everywhere. She was trending nonstop. She became the new face of a certain kind of female rap energy, raw, unapologetic, and in your face. However, during her rise, we saw a lot of what I would call dysfunctional behavior. Something I actually dove into in my 30-minute documentary last year, The Dysfunction of Sexyy Red. Among many things, we had situations like the teacher incident. Back in November 2023, a young ballet teacher went viral after expressing frustration about her students singing along to one of Sexyy Red's most explicit songs, which was, of course, Pound Town.
Your 5-year-old daughters are asking to listen to Pound Town. Your 5-year-old daughters are asking, can we hear Pound Town?
A normal reaction, especially coming from a woman who works with children every single day and understands what it's like growing up as a young girl herself. Now, she was simply pointing out the negative influence that songs like that could have on young kids. But instead of reflecting on something which was pretty fair criticism, Sexyy Red brushed it off, replying, "Girl, shut the hell up and play my song." And that moment right there said a lot, because the dysfunction wasn't in just what she said. It was in her complete inability to recognize her music, while profitable, is also inappropriate for the children who idolize her. And then
shut the fuck up and listen to my song. Imagine her saying that without the viralism, without the fame she has, though. You know what I'm saying?
While profitable,
this light-skinned shorty right here, this is a real woman,
is also inappropriate for the children who idolize her. And then when that teacher spoke up, she was ridiculed, while Sexyy Red kept on climbing.
And that shows you the nature of people today. Shut the fuck up and just play the song. Wow. So don't take a moment to actually, what's the words I'm looking for? Have morals and principles and stand on them, and you know what I'm saying? Just ignore all that and just have fun and be stupid and don't take nothing serious. You know what I'm saying?
Then there was the school visit. Just a few weeks after, Sexyy Red made headlines again, and that time it was after reportedly getting kicked out of a school in her hometown of St. Louis for smelling like marijuana. She later reacted in a very angry
Why would the school even invite Sexyy Red, bro? Like, what the fuck is going on?
After the school actually turned her away and essentially told her, hey, you can't be here because you smell like Mary J. And Sexyy Red was saying that she just wanted to speak to the kids.
So this school put me...
And tell them what game can you possibly give the children? Oh, work hard like me and you'll be a successful rapper. Yeah, right.
I came up here, got you. Try to talk to the kids, get in the water, that they gonna put me on me. I came up here, got you. Try to talk to
Came up here, got cute, talked to the kids, and what did you say?
the kids, get in the water, that they gonna put me.
Getting what?
So this school put me, I came up here, got you. Try to talk to the kids, get in the water, that they gonna put.
Getting wetter? Getting water? What did she say there, huh?
So this school put me, I came up here, got you. Try to talk to the kids, get in the water, that they gonna put me on me. Tell me I smell like weed, watch this. My job hard. Every day I'm fighting for my life. Every day. Try to put me out from this school. I'm coming back around.
And the question a lot of people had was, wait a second, why are you showing up to a school smelling like weed?
Right.
Regardless of if you were invited or not. And that kind of thing definitely made it clear that Sexyy Red was very detached from basic accountability.
The name is sexy in her name.
Instead of leaving, she actually decided to turn up outside the school with a crowd of students.
St. Louis native known for her raunchy lyrics, making national headlines over a recent performance outside of a rally that was for kids. Well, national recording artist Sexyy Red, whose name is
she called her raunchy, and we got us a nice put together woman over here.
Wary, drawing criticism tonight over her behavior and performance after a student rally Wednesday at Chaffetz. The organization involved telling First Alert 4 tonight she was never even invited.
Despite being told not to be on the property.
I ain't gonna hop down on that. Oh, smack that.
Obviously, that's the kind of thing any regular person would have
Oh my God.
faced real consequences for, but
Trends are really dangerous and retarded sometimes,
when
man.
you're famous, rich, and poppin', consequences don't always apply. Now, this pattern actually continued because after this came the 4C hair comments. Now, in a clip posted to Instagram, Sexyy Red actually showed off her straightened hair, and she mocked women with 4C hair. For anyone who doesn't know what 4C hair is, it's essentially the natural hair type that most black women have. And Sexyy Red, she posted this photo of herself and said, "You carpet hair beanie neck hoes could never." And then she obviously got backlash for this.
And I just hate the fact that we make fun of things that we cannot change. We cannot change hair texture. And it's sad because this is who's in the mainstream.
I mean, this specific post says nothing about hair texture. She might be talking about you bald-headed hoes.
And then she obviously got backlash for this.
And I just hate the fact that we make fun
Cause it looks like you got a wig on here.
of things that we cannot change.
I see the line.
We cannot change hair texture. And it's sad because this is who's in the mainstream media talking like this. And a lot of people are growing up having her as a role model for whatever reason. And they're going to start saying carpet hair. It's already a search in TikTok is carpet hair. The hair texture that you have does not determine how beautiful you are.
I would say short hair. You don't even have. I'm talking about this short, my nigga. Cause some of y'all females is walking around with y'all be doing the big chop. I would say that would look the most like carpet hair versus a full blown head of hair. Sexyy Red apparently has a full blown head of hair. You know what I'm saying?
Search in TikTok is carpet hair. The hair texture that you have
You don't even have that, shorty. I mean, at least that I can see, you got a wig
does not
on.
determine how beautiful you are. What your face looks like really doesn't determine how beautiful you are. It's your aura. It's your personality that determines how beautiful you are.
And then when that
It's all combined.
backlash came, she responded in
They
a
all
very
work together.
distasteful way. And she said, "I fuck with carpet hair, but would still call women that if they talked smack."
They cool, but if you talking shit, I'ma call you carpet hair. None against my fellow 4C hoochies.
Obviously not the smartest move because, you know, the majority of her fan base is actually made up of the same black women that she was shading. And also, it's like you're a black woman yourself and you have this hair type yourself naturally. And just because you strain that hair that one time, that doesn't really take away from the fact that
I think she's getting at the point that she has a full head of hair.
you naturally have that hair type. You get what I'm saying? So that's the kind of thing that kind of comes across as like, you know what they call it, internalized hatred. And this is what made it very ironic because Sexyy Red's entire brand was always built on exaggerating the same negative stereotypes of black women that she herself insulted. But then we also have the viral tape. And in October 2023, Sexyy Red accidentally posted a private tape.
And if that's crazy, if that's true that she got that much hair like that, why is she wearing these wigs and shit? Because you know that's a wig. What she do, the big chop?
And in October 2023, Sexyy Red accidentally posted a private tape on her Instagram story. I'm sure you probably know what that
private tape
was, right?
What's that?
People said that you leaked your sex tape on purpose.
Oh, I remember
it was
this.
on Instagram, like a little short clip video, and then through the phone, and it got accidentally pressed like that.
Oh, accidentally pressed, is that right?
Later claimed on an interview with The Breakfast Club that it wasn't intentional, but anyone with
I wouldn't touch Sexyy Red with a 10-foot pole. Stay far away from me.
a functioning brain can tell that it was. The timing, the context, the way it boosted her visibility all point to this being part of the marketing strategy. Because remember, her biggest song, Pound Town, literally revolves around her body and sexuality, okay? So when the world suddenly gets visual evidence
Yo, Cladale
connected to those
Appreciate it.
lyrics, what do you think happens?
Clydale.
A viral storm. And this kind of thing is part of building a brand identity in today's industry. Not just for Red, but for any artist trying to connect their image to a specific idea or aesthetic. It's very profitable and it works. In this case, we have shock, scandal, and controversy being the core of that identity. And in this situation, none of it was an accident. It was all strategy. This is how an artist gets branded, sold, and introduced to the public by the record labels. And like a lot of us know, the more extreme the image is, the more attention it draws. And the more attention it draws, the more money it makes for the people behind the scenes. But here's the most worrying.
Yeah, you got to be a different type of person to be able to like you got to be able to fit in. See, I don't fit in. I keep it so organic and real. You know what I'm saying? Like I can't fake who I am to like uphold a certain type of image, like a rapper image. If I'm a grow in life, if I'm my whole thing in life is to get better year after year. That's what you supposed to do. You supposed to elevate as a person. I'm not doing the same shit I was doing when I was 18, 17, 19 years old, bro. Why the fuck would I continue to keep rapping like that? You know what I'm saying? But that's what these rappers do. I'm not good at that. You know what I'm saying? I'm good at telling you what I'm currently living, not what I was currently living or previously living. You know what I'm saying?
Neon, the more money it makes for the people behind the scenes. But here's the most worrying part about all of this.
What's
a huge
that?
portion of her audience is made up of children, specifically young black girls who look up to her, imitate her, and see her as a representation.
I wouldn't say no one is looking up to this bit, bro. Like, it's a trend, bro. Pow, 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 pow. It's catchy, it's trendy, it's... You know what I'm saying?
Of what
Kids, especially like under the age of like 12, bro, 13, don't really know what the fuck this shit really, what's really being said and all that. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't till I got older I started listening, and I listened to the freaky ass music I used to listen to, my parents used to listen to, and I'm like, damn, they talking about some shit. You know what I'm saying?
confidence looks like. And so when those same girls watch a public figure leak her own tape and then pretend it was an accident, it sends a dangerous message that attention is worth more than dignity. When it comes to being a public figure, no matter how you look at it, there is a level of responsibility.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, bro. You gotta be able to appeal to that audience that cares about materialistic shit. You know what I'm saying? That cares about like the mainstream human nature is that materialistic fake, act like you got it, that persona, oh, we're cool. You know what I'm saying? That's that. I don't fit in with it. You know what I'm saying?
And dignity.
You gotta be good at promoting that. That's how you get the record labels and get the deals and shit.
When it comes to being a public figure, no matter how
You can't be a nigga who gets better in life year after year. No.
message that attention is worth more than dignity. When it comes to being a public figure, no matter how you look at it, there is a level of responsibility that comes with that. With great power comes great responsibility. And it's
It doesn't really seem like people have to be a whole lot responsible, because you be hearing the craziest of scandals and people still be getting put in positions, still get deals, opportunities. Algorithm still promotes them.
It's not about being perfect 24/7 or operating like a role model every second of the day, but at least being conscious of how your actions land and who they actually speak to is very important. Now, in Sexyy Red's case, I never expected that kind of responsibility from her, at least based on how she moved up until that point. But that's exactly the point here. The industry knew that. They knew she wasn't going to filter herself or self-correct or think about the impact that her negative actions are having.
They don't want her to. The moment she does that, the moment everything goes away.
On people, the world.
The moment you stop promoting that, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, just like Cardi B was making that wet ass pussy song, but she don't want her kids listening to it. As soon as you stop doing that, the fans, the views, all that shit is going away, bro.
And the youth. And in a way, that's what made her the perfect candidate for this experiment. Because before Sexyy Red was handpicked, and listen to what I just said here, okay? Handpicked to be elevated to the spotlight.
Well, I feel like, bro, they be seeing people, you know what I'm saying? And they just use them for the time being. That's all really music is, bro. We just use you for your trend and then boom, on to the next. You know what I'm saying? And we'll help you keep doing what you're doing, promote what you're promoting. We're not going to help you be better, be a smarter person, actually grow and elevate in life. No, we want you to keep doing what you're doing and do it times 10, times 100, please and thank you. You know what I'm saying? We're going to take you straight off the streets and tell you everything you're doing is right. You know what I'm saying?
Real process that happens behind the scenes. Personalities of this type don't just blow up by accident. Their image, their behavior, all of it is observed, analyzed, and measured by the people who decide who gets pushed and who doesn't.
Well, the audience got to be there first, bro. You know what I'm saying? That algorithm got to hit first. You know what I'm saying? If your algorithm don't hit, It's nothing they can do with you. You know what I'm saying? You have to have some type of algorithm already there, and then they could come along and like. But even then, that's not even necessarily true because they are an algorithm within themselves. The whole entire industry. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's what they look for though. Something that's already got the organic attention from the people. They look for that because it's gonna sell the most. You know what I'm saying? Once they start pushing you.
And this explains something a lot of people have wondered about for years, which is why do so many public figures suddenly explode in popularity yet seem to completely lack a moral compass? Why do the most chaotic, reckless, or controversial artists
just told y'all niggas why
get the biggest push? That's not by accident. How it works is this. Labels, investors, and
we're
media
gonna take
companies
you off the
collectively
streets
look for what's
and tell you you're doing everything right and you need to do it better.
profitable. Now it's healthy, uplifting, or balanced. They look for personalities that can generate attention, even if that attention comes from dysfunction, because attention is currency. And someone who doesn't self-reflect or set boundaries is easier to brand, easier to manipulate, and easier to push into extreme directions. And during that,
because if we don't ever teach you how to manage your money and we just keep handing you this money whole time we taking your royalties, boom, we got you.
evaluation process, a lot of questions get asked behind the scenes.
You
Questions
big
like
dummy.
who can push the public's buttons the most, who can trigger the strongest reactions, who will go the furthest without questioning the impact. That's why I felt like Sexyy Red was being extra provocative during her blow-up period. It wasn't random. It wasn't accidental. It was very planned. It was orchestrated in a way that maximized shock, maximized virality, and maximized profit. And despite all that dysfunction, it seemed like she just kept going up. Every controversy, every viral moment, instead of things slowing down, it almost felt like it was fueling her career even more. And my theory has always been that there's of course a reason for that. See, I personally think that Sexyy Red was getting this push for one main reason: to promote a very specific image, a very negative one. Because in a world where media has always shaped how we view people, especially black people, Sexyy Red became a tool for the music industry to push a modern version of one of the oldest and most damaging stereotypes about black women. I'm talking about the Jezebel stereotype. Dating back to slavery, this stereotype painted black women as hypersexual, uncontrollable, and defined entirely by their bodies. It was a complete lie that was used to justify the exploitation and abuse of black women for generations, and somehow that same imagery is still being recycled today, just packaged with beats and marketing.
Yeah, and I'll tell you, that shit do be working, bro. That shit work, bro.
Hip-hop has always been an art form
It make niggas want to be gangsters, and it make shorties want to be hoes, bro.
to empower black voices.
It really do, man. That's why you got to be able to have a mind for your own to be able to see stuff for what it is. And then you need, good parents, growing up as well.
However, it has unfortunately been hijacked
Like that light-skinned shorty, she was young, bro. She like my age, you know what I'm saying? Talking about who letting their kids listen to this music. You could tell she was raised right, bro.
to do the opposite. And Sexyy Red, whether she realizes or not, became the face of that. Her entire brand, her lyrics, her visuals, and even the way she's promoted. It all fed into that same narrative, that the only way a black woman can be seen, celebrated, or go viral is by being sexualized, loud, and reckless. And Red eventually became very successful. She's undoubtedly generated a whole lot of money for the music industry. And for a while, the experiment worked. But now things are starting to shift.
Once Drake hopped on that song with her, shit went downhill. That's how it be. Soon as Drake do a song with you, you're done. You're done. You're cooked.
A lot of you guys might have noticed how Sexyy Red isn't being talked about nearly as much as before. And there's a few reasons for that. Now let's take it back. Take it way back to how it all started. Before
She
Sexyy
looks skinny right
Red took
there.
off, she was discovered by a Miami-based label and management company called Rebel Music back in 2021. They came across some of her early songs and decided to sign her. Her A&R executive stated that once she got off the plane and I heard her voice, I knew she was a star.
A star,
Fast forward
huh?
to mid-2023, the peak of her blow-up,
Cause she just has that great of a voice,
and
huh?
Gamma, a new media company, stepped in to handle her distribution. Now, let's talk-
Gamma, look at these fucking folks here, man.
A little bit about Gamma, because this was the company behind her true rise. Now, this company was founded by a Larry Jackson.
Never
Some
heard of
guys in the music industry might know who this is. He actually spent 7 years as Apple Music's global creative director before leaving in 2022 to start Gamma.
You see the connections you need.
A company that claims to create, distribute, and market content focused on black culture. And according to Larry Jackson himself, that focus on black culture isn't just a slogan, it's the entire pitch. Because when Gamma was launched, it wasn't some small experimental startup. They actually came out the gate backed by $1 billion in financing. And the question is, where did they get that money from?
Is that right?
We'll get to that in a second. And this money was apparently being put to work, particularly and acutely on black culture. So $1 billion dedicated specifically to black culture.
My boy exposing the industry.
Interesting. Now, Larry Jackson is a very much recognized name in the music industry. Most people, whether it's managers, artists, or anyone else who actually works in the music industry, they...
Yeah. But we, as regular consumers, we don't know.
Times they know who he is,
they
right?
Don't know.
Billboard even named Larry Jackson the R&B and hip-hop executive of the year. They described him as someone who's able to bring things to life, with artists like Travis Scott praising the way he moves. So he's been getting a lot of cosigns from a lot of very prominent artists as well. And one of the first big moves the company Gamma that he started made was facilitating a deal where TikTok's 1 billion plus users got exclusive access to the entire Death Row catalog, which included Snoop Dogg's classic Doggy Style album and the late Tupac's All Eyes on Me as well. Now right here, Larry Jackson demonstrated exactly the kind of pull he and his company Gamma actually has and what it's apparently built to do. Use massive capital, massive access, and massive cultural...
These the niggas who really running the show, bro. And they're richer than all the rappers, bro.
leverage to shape what the general public, especially black audiences, consume and how they consume.
Sometimes, bro, you don't gotta be... I'm starting to, you know what I'm saying? I'm cool with... If I have to be a behind-the-scenes smart nigga, that's what I'll be, bro. I'm bull with that. Because I see them niggas the ones who really got the longevity and the most bread. Simple. You know what I'm saying? You don't got to be the face all the time, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Now, when you understand that, Sexyy Red's rise starts looking a lot less organic and a lot more like a calculated extension of that mission. Now,
that's always what it is,
Jackson,
bro.
we also have Ike Yusuf, Gamma's president. Now, Ike previously worked at Interscope Records as a CFO, Chief Financial Officer, and he holds degrees in business, economics, and accounting. So his background is strictly corporate, not creative. Together, these two
at Gamma, okay.
essentially built Gamma to be a hybrid between a label and a media powerhouse.
A white man and a black man working together and getting $1 billion in financing to for the black music industry. Rap industry, right? Not just other type of black music. You know what I'm saying? I met her at the gas station. Y'all heard that song, that new gas station song that's on the radio? I know y'all fuck with it now. Shouts out to that young man, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, we got better music than just rap music out here, bro. And I be fucking with it, man.
And Sexyy Red quickly built Gamma to be a hybrid between a label and a media powerhouse. And Sexyy Red quickly became one of their biggest test cases. The face of a very calculated experiment that combined viral marketing, controversy, and cultural packaging under the banner of representation. But here's where things get interesting. The largest investor in Gamma isn't someone from the culture at all.
It's a white man.
Todd Bowley, a 52-year-old American businessman of German heritage who's worth over $8 billion.
Blonde hair, blue eyes, $8 billion.
American businessman of German heritage.
This nigga Blackie Speaks exposing this shit.
Who's worth over $8 billion. So now it actually starts to make sense where they got that initial
This man don't know nothing about black America.
Billion from, right? So the main investor behind a company that claims to focus on black culture is a white billionaire who also happens to co-own Los Angeles Dodgers and Chelsea Football Club. And, you know, that's kind of where the dots start to connect. Because one of the biggest questions people had when...
Boy, they hate to see niggas like me at owning all that shit. What's stopping me from doing it? I just don't got the money. Let me get the money. These niggas ain't shit, boy.
You know, that's kind of where...
Man. They regular people just like me and you, man. We can do it, man.
The dots start to connect. Because one of the biggest questions people had when Sexyy Red started popping up everywhere was how? Like,
the thing is these people, you know what I'm saying, they work together with their money, man. Something we gotta do, bro.
because one of the biggest questions people had when Sexyy Red started popping up everywhere was how? Like, how is all this possible? How does someone with that kind of image suddenly get this massive push from every
Right. Mind you. See, it's only, you're only not lame. You're only not dorky. You're only not that bad when you got money and fame and diamond chains and this, that, and the third. It's not much people can say about you, right? Right.
possible? How does someone with that kind of image suddenly get this massive?
Right, because there's people right now who's making the same type of rap music, bro. The same type of everything, doing the same shit, and they will never in life make it, and they making themselves look so fucking goofy, bro. And they think they gonna make it. You're not making it. I may never make it, bro. This may be as big as I ever get, bro. Tragic. That's why I said, bro, I'm not. I know. Hey, if I don't make it with my music, whatever, I know I can make it behind the scenes, nigga. I know I can make it buying real estate. I know I can make it investing money. I know that. I know that. There's other ways of just being the ball player, being the rapper. I know that now. That ain't something that was taught to me growing up, though. You know what I'm saying? That's something that's not taught to us. We don't know nothing about that, man.
Like, how is all this possible? How does someone with that kind of image suddenly get this massive push from every direction? Well, now it should make sense to you. When you realize that the machine behind Sexyy Red included a billionaire investor worth nearly $9 billion, a major media company with deep Apple Music ties, and
my thing though is, how much money, if you have $8 billion though, how much money is there really for you to make in Sexyy Red though? Definitely not billions. Definitely not hundreds of millions. With all the people in between. Now, this is the caveat though. Sexyy Red is just the one artist in the portfolio of thousands. Come on now.
Infrastructure designed to amplify controversy, it starts painting a very clear picture. And this is something
you take, you get them 1,000 artists. Now you talk about maybe not 1,000, let's say 100. Now you talk about $1 billion. You got 100 top artists, charting artists. Now you talk about a pool of $1 billion. You know what I'm saying?
Candace Owens actually spoke about some time back
Maybe,
as well.
Gamma has a lot of power.
Possibly.
I'll tell you why Gamma has a lot of power. Because
is that right, Candace Owens?
That started Gamma. One of them came out of Apple. His name is Larry Jackson.
Right.
And the
he a house
second
nigga.
one of them came from Interscope Records. He has a ton of clout in the record community, the music community industry, so to speak.
Right, but we never heard of these niggas, man.
His name is Ike Youssef. Larry Jackson, who I
you only hear about these niggas with some conspiracy shit going on.
Mentioned before, is black, and he is the person that I am more interested in.
For anyone who doesn't recognize the face or name, Candace Owens is an American political commentator and author, and a self-labeled conservative activist. Now, she's covered a lot of these same connections, pointing out how the entertainment industry profits off of promoting chaos, dysfunction, and over-sexualization, especially...
Candace Owens is in cahoots too. Quit playing. If she's ever been on the news or in any type of real space like that, she's in cahoots.
Especially when it comes to black artists. Now, interestingly enough, this connects to something rapper Ice Cube talked about on Bill Maher's podcast. Ice Cube spoke about the same kind of manipulation, which is what he called social engineering.
Ice Cube might be in the boule with LeBron. hey, the conspiracies get deep. You know what I'm saying? That nigga in the boule. You don't get to just be Ice Cube, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Ice Cube a little bit different. That man went the movie route. You know what I'm saying? That man went the I respect Ice Cube route though. If Ice Cube is organic, that's the way you supposed to go with it. You know what I'm saying? Ice Cube did what you supposed to do with it. He came up rapping, transitioned to movies and other business ventures. Now this nigga got the big three. That ain't easy to do. You know what I'm saying? He might be in that bootleg, man.
Ice Cube spoke about the same kind of manipulation, which is what he called social engineering, where record labels act like...
I ain't gonna say the movies is hard to transition into, but that basketball league, you know what I'm saying? But he the type rapper, he not buying the fancy cars. He not into all the bitches and spending all the money, the diamond chains, and he not that type of nigga. He an investor type, he a smart type of nigga. You know what I'm saying?
Gatekeepers,
he might
which
be
is
in
what
that
he called
bootleg, though.
social engineering, where record labels act like gatekeepers. And he said that they essentially don't tell artists exactly what to say, but they make sure that the most destructive messages are the ones that get pushed to the top.
The records that come out are really geared to push people towards that prison industry.
But it's a business.
Make you write those lyrics.
It's not about making somebody write the lyrics. It's about being there as guardrails to make sure certain songs make it through and certain songs don't.
And this is an idea we've explored.
That's why as a rapper, you can't elevate in your music. You have to stay rapping about the same stupid shit your whole time, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Over time. So it's nothing new, right? Now, Ice Cube was essentially saying, if you follow the money, you'll start noticing how the same people who own major record labels also have ownership stakes in private prisons. Now, that's another conversation I'll explore in depth in another video.
It's all a money pool, bro. When you're an investor, bro, it's all a money pool, man. It's when you have so much money, you can make so much money off investments that the money that you spend will never keep up with the amount of money that you make. Infinite money glitch, bro. You could do it with the stock market. Nigga, you could do it with a savings account. You just need enough money.
Whether you believe what Ice Cube said or not, the underlying message underneath is very
live
clear.
Free forever.
The industry profits off of chaos, dysfunction, and division. And when you look at what gets the biggest push, the artists who glorify violence, crime, or hypersexuality, it starts to make a lot of sense, right? And this is how a lot of these experiments start. Now for Sexyy Red, I think they decided to push the boundaries even further, especially when it comes to the raunchiness and shock value. Because here's the thing, we live in a time where, let's just say that people are extremely desensitized in all types of ways. Nothing surprises anyone anymore. So to grab everybody's attention, like to grab the attention of the public, you almost have to go to the extreme. You have to be louder, you have to be wilder, you have to be more provocative than the last person, or you'll get drowned out in the noise. And Sexyy Red became the perfect vessel for that strategy. Because one thing about the public is that we react to extremes. If you show us something that feels outrageous, controversial, or wild enough, it grabs our attention instantly. And in an experiment where attention equals profit, the industry keeps testing how far they can go. They take these sample sizes of artists, amplify the most polarizing ones, and study what happens next, how people react, how the internet responds, how the controversy spreads. If it goes viral, they double down on that formula. If it doesn't, they move on to the next artist. That's exactly what we've seen happen in this case right here. Sexyy Red was a test subject for how far they could stretch the public's tolerance for dysfunction, for explicitness, for chaos, all while disguising it as authenticity. Now, what's happening right now with Sexyy Red though, because she's obviously not getting the same marketing push that she was. Before we even get to Sexyy Red, we got to look at what's been happening in rap overall.
The algorithm
now,
dries
a few days
up.
ago, we
There's a
talked
chart.
about that Billboard report. The one showing that...
It's just like the stock market, bro. Human interest algorithms and shit, it's a stock market, bro. It goes up and down. Her peak is peak. That you hop on that Drake song, it's over with,
First
bro.
time since the 90s, there wasn't a single rap song in the Hot 100's top 40. Rap's market share has been slipping for years. This is something a lot of people know, right? Labels aren't investing in hip-hop like they used to, and a lot of the newer sounds just aren't connecting with the public anymore. Meanwhile, country, Latin, Afrobeats, and pop are dominating. So the industry has shifted towards safe artists with guaranteed returns, meaning the machine has been, pulling back on rappers across the board, not just Sexyy Red. Now for Sexyy Red, she's undoubtedly an artist who's fueled by antics. And an artist in that category usually gets a huge marketing push during that initial discovery phase where the label throws everything at them to create momentum, and it works at first. It always does. But later on, things start to slow down because antics have an expiration date. That's just how it is. There's also a growing level of fatigue towards these characters who get pushed nonstop, not just in the music industry, but just in social media in general. And the reason for this fatigue, in my opinion, is because people today are way more conscious, way more self-aware, way more spiritually tuned in than they were in the past. Because here's the thing, I'm sure you know this, right? We're living in a time where there's so many things that are attacking our attention, our energy, and our peace. So people can feel when something is forced and when something is spiritually empty. Sexyy Red went through that period where she was being prioritized, where the machine was fully behind her, pushing her into every corner of the culture and industry, but things are a little different now. Just a year and some change later, that momentum isn't the same. The push isn't the same, and the public isn't reacting the same way they did before. And once the intensity of the reactions start to fade, what incentive does the industry have to keep pushing you and investing all this money into you? None.
I'm ready to see 20 years later a lot of these people and how they end up.
And there's also something to be said about the demographic that Sexyy Red was being marketed towards, which was primarily black women. And based on the responses I've seen online, a lot of, those same women who were initially hyped about her are starting to wake up to what's really going on. Not in a judgmental way, but in a self-awareness kind of way. Because once something reaches a certain level of exaggeration or dysfunction or straight up cartoonish behavior, people eventually recognize it for what it is. Now, personally, I think that all those black women should have realized, when she made those 4C hair comments, that's what we call internalized hatred, okay? And so I think that should have been the moment where they woke up and they realized, like, damn, she straight up
if you're following Sexyy Red, you don't have a mind of your own.
Herself, and she's mocking us, right? Now, on top of that, we also know that Sexyy Red's rise was built almost entirely on hype. And when something is built on hype, it fades the moment people take a step back and actually look at what they're consuming. When you change the way you look at things, the things you're looking at actually start to change. And that's kind of when people start to see through the hype and the facade. And I think that's what happened with Sexyy Red. I also don't think that people are as quick to play this kind of music around their children anymore, especially after everything, people have seen from Sexyy Red, but also too, considering everything that's happening in the world right now. Because the truth is, there's a lot of forces operating through social media today, pushing certain ideas, certain behaviors, and planting certain messages in the minds of the youth. Not in some kind of like conspiracy way, but I'm saying in a very algorithm / attention type of way. The stuff that spreads the fastest is usually the stuff that's loudest, wildest, and most chaotic, and most dysfunctional. And when that becomes the dominant influence in certain spaces, parents and young people themselves start paying attention. And once you recognize the pattern, once you see the intention behind the marketing, you start realizing this isn't something you want influencing the next generation. And that shift right there matters. Because when the core audience becomes more intentional, more protective, and more aware, the entire foundation of that experiment starts to fall apart. Now look, I think Sexyy Red is going to continue being successful to some extent because she's got a fan base, she's got visibility, and she's built a name for herself. But at this point, it's obvious that the experiment isn't hitting the way it used to. But what the hell do I know? You tell me, has the experiment failed or not? If you made it this far, drop a like on this video. Clearly, you obviously...
Hey man, y'all let me know what y'all think about this, man. We on the road to 100K, okay? If you ain't hit that like button, subscribe button, and turned on all notifications, slap the dog shit about yourself, because that's the first thing you should have did when you clicked on this video. I'll get at y'all in the next one, and I'm gone. TYP the name.